the People's Podcast. What's up, y'all? This is DJ Busby.
And it's your boy Bless One.
And this is the People's Podcast. We want to thank you for tuning in. Make sure to check us out on all socials. We're uploaded onto various platforms like YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And for an easy way to follow us or find us, just follow us on the Instagram at the People's, that's PPLS Podcast on Instagram. It's easy to find us. Click the link in the bio, and you're good to go. Want to thank Willard for subbing in for JKD.
You know?
His JKD's wife had to work a surprise shift today or something, so
yeah.
And the 3-year-old and almost 1-year-old can't wash himself. So Daddy's doing daddy duties. So big up JKD.
Yep.
And we're back for another episode. Now, before we even get anything started, I don't want to talk about anything until we have a moment of silence for what happened over there in Buffalo. It was a serious tragedy, and I'm fed up seeing stuff like that, period. So let's just give a moment of silence for those lives lost in Buffalo and the families dealing with that struggle right now. Did you end up seeing that?
Yeah.
What did you think when you saw it?
It's devastating because, honestly, it's still happening. It hasn't really stopped. It just takes a little time out, and then it happens again. Yeah. There's a part where they're claiming that the guy was mentally ill, which is an easy out. But he knew what he was doing. He planned it, streamed it for a bit. His video where he went into the grocery store and he saw the one white guy on the floor and pointed and said sorry and then didn't shoot him. Like, there's too much going on, and honestly, it starts to feel like it's unreal, but it's actually happening. Yeah. And it doesn't hit you until it's near you, you know what I mean?
Until it's close to home. Yeah. Like, first of all, I think to touch on the first thing you said about they were claiming mental health.
Yeah.
That's one of the most ridiculous things I have ever heard in defense. And us in Canada here this past week have literally heard that intoxication is now an excuse or a reason for justifying why you did what you did.
That's just sick.
It's sickening, but that's even worse.
Yeah.
This guy literally wrote the N-word on an automatic rifle and went into a grocery store and killed specifically black people. I think he had even more ridiculous stuff written on that gun.
Yeah. Here's your reparations, stuff like that. Oh, man.
I don't know if it was the parents. I can't remember that part. But again, to touch on the first thing you said about mental illness, somebody said they blame COVID and being locked down for that because he had too much time to think about it.
Heard that. And
if it was his parents, and I apologize if I'm misquoting that part, but if it was his parents, don't blame COVID. Blame yourself. Yeah. You're his caregiver. You should know these things. I ain't saying a parent's supposed to know every single thing about their child, but a mass murderer, you kind of get hints here and there. Yeah. And then, trailing back a few years or something, so they were saying that he already mentioned that he wanted to do a mass attack on a school.
Yeah, so
the signs were there.
They avoided it, or we don't know what they did at that time when that situation happened to kind of address that, but clearly, whatever it didn't work for him to still be able to have access to weapons and still do what he did.
Exactly, at all. And it's a tragedy because it's like every day, or every few days, whatever the case is, every week, you always just, you hear your parents are going to the grocery.
Yeah.
Just having that mental picture that something like that is possible to happen to your parents going to a grocery store to buy food for the family is sickening. Like, we've already had an instance where a similar looking individual went into a church.
Yep.
And killed off black people specifically. This is now a grocery store. Places that you should not have to feel on guard, unsafe.
Yeah.
And what nobody's going to talk about is the mental trauma that does to black people in general. Why do I have to feel like I got to worry about leaving my crib to go to the grocery store, bro? I get, you're going to the hood, you're going to a party, this and that. Like, there's risks. I get that, right? That comes with the territory. But a grocery store in the middle of the day, and not only to be shot and killed, but a mass murderer that's live streaming it is sick.
There's a lot of intent behind that.
Very much so. And the racism, like, I was watching a Breakfast Club interview today with Bobby Brown, I believe. I think it was Bobby Brown and Charlemagne were talking about racism. And Bobby Brown was just saying, like, I purposely don't live with racism. And Charlemagne was just like, well, it's still there.
Yeah.
But Bobby said there's nothing I could do about it. And I don't think there is anything that could be done about it. So what do you think? Do you think there is an avenue to fix that?
I think there's always an avenue to fix that. It just has to be with the togetherness of that culture, our culture, Black people as a whole. Yeah. And a lot of the things that we do is always on some separation level.
Yeah.
To me, the way that this happened and the way it's being addressed, there's always a piece to me where it's there to draw you out. Like when you see something like that and you feel it deep in your soul for like Black people, you don't know these people, but they're not coming back. Yeah. And you feel it, it sets a reactive nature to you. You know what I mean? There's no response. You want to get up and do something back. Yeah. And when that does happen, riots happen, then it's the next set of like, let's arrest these Black people, let's kill. It's another reason. So for me, it's more of a like, what can we do to respond to certain things? And then sometimes you do have to react because sometimes the reaction is going to give you what you want right away, faster than the response. And in order to get back to a place where we're fixing things as a whole, we have to really be able to talk to each other about things that we avoid and not just let things happen. I mean, that's not a place where you need to feel unsafe. Grocery store, but you're not safe anywhere you go, really.
Yeah, even your own home.
Exactly. But that was intentional. Like, he came for that. He had his reasons. The mental illness part is an escape. Yeah. And we're not going to get to a level where we get past it because that's a mental trauma to us, like you said.
Yeah. So it absolutely is.
I can't answer that right now.
It's facts. And the sad part is I kind of agree with Bobby Brown. Yeah. I don't think there's anything that could be done. That type of evil and hatred towards somebody just simply based off of their skin color, like you literally do not know this person.
It's been there.
Just because of their skin color, you have that sort of anger to want to kill. Yeah. How do you fix that? You know what I'm saying? And to make matters even worse, he was peacefully arrested.
That's the part.
that's
He's gonna have a trial, and it's not gonna go the way we want it to go, and it's gonna cause a bigger issue. Like all these things are like sometimes it feels like it's a plant, like it happens. Unfortunately, lives are taken, but certain things to me just seem too unreal because there is going to be a process. They always want to know what the criminal is thinking. That guy should have not made it out of there alive. Yeah. Because they want to know what was on your mind. What did you do? Like, what brought you to this? And you're going to have a trial.
You want to psychoanalyze. No, put your knee on his neck instead of George Floyd.
Honestly. And when you see that, like, this is a systematic thing. We're set up to be destroyed. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So it's rough, but we just wanted to shed some awareness on that. Some people literally don't absorb news at all or might not even be on socials like that and may just listen to the podcast. But either way, just needed a moment to reflect on that situation. Understand, too, that could have been your parents. That could have been you just going and picking up a pack of gum in the grocery store. That could have been you. So just think about those things and just try to be on guard as much as possible, even though you can't predict those type of things.
I think what's hard, too, is like I feel some people get to that avenue where it's like they don't think that can happen here. Yeah, we don't have the same gun laws, but people still have access to guns. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it doesn't take much to do something big like that. Obviously, you've seen the scale that it got to. Yeah. So, we're in Canada and these things they're foreign to us sometimes, but they can happen here. You know what I mean? So.
Absolutely. So, we just want to wish our condolences and families. All of our prayers are with the families that lost somebody within that tragic act of terrorism, I would say. Yeah. And it's sad that it's not treated as such. I wonder if they stopped at Burger King on the way to the police station, the way they were handling this guy. Yeah. And he just killed off 10 people. So just got to send our prayers out. And if everybody could keep that in mind, people lost family members in this, and imagine if it was you. Yeah. You understand? So it's the People's Podcast. Let's get things started. Got to commend you while you're here on the show because a lot of people messaged me, especially after the relationship episode that we did. Yeah. And they were just like, yo, I love Willard on the podcast. Like, he had a lot of amazing talking points. He said a lot of things that they wanted to say. Just in general, you being here communicating, we appreciate that.
Appreciate you guys, man.
So a couple of people did say too, like he needs to be on more often.
I heard that. I got a lot of real positive feedback from it too.
Yeah,
a lot of females actually reached out and were just like, yo, I appreciate the way you shared your story. Spoke with Joyce as well. She said she thought it was well done.
Okay,
and appreciated the light that I took to get information out. So that was big.
Great. There's ways about doing things too, you know? So definitely appreciate you for that. And you're back. So that's a good sign. You know, as I said before, like you're one person I consider amazing when it comes to just communication and talking to somebody, period. So for you to be able to relay that through microphones, through a camera, I know it's different.
Yeah.
And, you know, it may be a barrier for you in general because you have to kind of watch what you say sometimes and whatnot, but you still did an amazing job.
Appreciate that.
So just keep the movements going.
Avenue. It is a different avenue. Like I said, like me in front of cameras and stuff, that's not me.
Me too.
But that's something you talked to me about, and it was, I like to force myself to do things and get out of my comfort zone a lot. So that was big for me. And like being back here, obviously, thank you for having me back. So I'm just trying to slowly but surely get there.
For sure. And they usually say, you know, when those things are uncomfortable for you, lean into that.
Yeah.
Because that's where greatness is. Like, keep continuing in your comfort zone will only keep you within that.
Yeah, I believe that.
You know? So, to get things started on the show, once again, we want to thank you for tuning in. Now, as usual, we have a few topics we talk about on a consistent basis in the show. And the first one we normally target is relationships. Yeah. We tend to get some clips, some pictures off of socials because that's typically what we scroll on a day-to-day, you know, being within our age group at least. And one that I found for relationships is as follows. It was a screen or a picture, and the text of the picture says, "A man settles where he finds peace, not beauty, not money, not status, but peace." What are your thoughts on that?
I think it makes a lot of sense, to be honest, and I feel it. Obviously, we're speaking about men, but it's the same. Vice versa, you know what I mean?
Versa,
and peace is one of those things that I feel is overlooked because of society and the things that we focus on. We focus on beauty, we focus on money, just status at the end of the day, but peace is what's going to get you. And I think a lot of females, there's always that, like, be his peace. I've always seen that meme, and I'm like, that's the craziest thing to me because I'm like, I understand it's not easy to be someone's peace sometimes. Sometimes that person that you're supposed to be their peace, they're not yours. And that can cause like a wicked imbalance. But I think for a lot of men, like especially black men, we're targeted a lot in this world. And sometimes you just want to be able to come home or just even have that one specific person to talk to that can just make you feel kind of calm. And just literally just talking to that person calms you down. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of males have that because unfortunately some females are reactive. You don't get the response that you need when you bring a situation to like, yo, this is what my day was like. It's like they're quick to either talk about what their day was like or maybe an issue that they have with you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's not easy, but something's got to give at the end of the day. Like for me, I'm a very peaceful person. I do not like altercations. I don't like arguing, disagreements. Like you can have with me, but I don't like the raising of tones and that's not me. Yeah. So peace is a big thing for me to be able to sit there and be like, yo, I can actually talk to you in a calm manner and I don't feel irritated or anxious when that's happening. So I think I would go with that. Like it's big.
Peace is huge. And on top of that, like, as you said, it goes both ways, and women have their trials and tribulations as well. Yeah. And want to come home to a peaceful state, want to come home and communicate. They don't want to come home to see you playing 2K. You know what I'm saying? They don't. That's a big story. This is fact. But, you know, it goes hand in hand. Yeah. And peace in general is priceless. I think it was Steve Harvey that said it in his interview with Earn Your Leisure that stuck out so much to me, and it's facts. I've already gone and gotten who I've considered beautiful and locked it down. But because there wasn't that peace there, none of that even mattered at the end of the day. And I'm a different breed. Like, you know Neo's song, I think is When You're Mad? Yeah. I don't understand. Neo is one of my favorite artists of all time. I don't understand that song for the life of me. But When You're Mad, I like it when the twinkle over your nose. Shut up! I hate it when we're fighting. I hate when we're mad.
With a little angry face.
Exactly.
Like,
Yo,
what?
I don't get
mad
it.
at me.
Some people
crazy,
like that.
Yeah.
I've literally heard verbatim like, "Yo, I like it when we're mad at each other because that makeup."
It's a fire.
Yeah.
I get it, but it doesn't end well. It doesn't last that long.
No. And some people literally do like. It feels like they have a dark cloud over their head, and they just enjoy that bickering or they enjoy the fighting.
Because there's some comfort in that.
Yeah.
Like I realize that with a lot of people, it's like if that's what you know and that's what you grow up seeing, it's second nature.
Yeah.
You can't even get mad at some people because it's just like that's how they know to communicate.
Yeah.
Like they haven't seen let's figure this out, let's sit down and not get angry. Like they don't even know what it looks like when they're getting angry because they're expecting like, well, as long as I'm not throwing things all over the place, I'm fine.
Yeah. Again, to me, like I don't understand like being happy with somebody else's anger.
Yeah.
Or using that as your sense of joy. Yeah. I can't, like, as fine as I think a woman is, if there's not that, like, if there's anger there or they're constantly doing something to me, like, I've lost attraction at that point. Yeah. You could be all Shensia. I don't care. And that's just me. I find it different. Yeah. Like, I treat those things different. And when it comes to that aspect of things, I ain't saying it's going to be a bed of roses, but the peace is priceless. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And even if we get in an argument, I want to know, like, am I going to have to worry the next day? Yeah. If I get in an argument and you leave the house, am I going to have to worry? And that's, like, to me, always been something. And granted, I haven't dated every single woman in the world to know what's right and what's wrong, or that all of them do the same thing. But that's just what I've experienced.
Yeah. That fight or flight instinct kicks in for a lot of people. Yeah. Like when they're angry, they don't know how to deal with it. So the best thing they can do is leave. And sometimes that's the worst thing you can do. Yeah. Because when you leave a situation, it makes that person there feel like you're leaving them. It's like, yo, this is the biggest thing you've dealt with. Like, we can't sit down and talk about this. That's scary. Yeah. You know what I mean? And a lot of people is just because they need that time to process. And for someone who's typically calm, it's like, yo, I'm not even that angry. Like, we could talk about this. But not everyone sees it that way. And you could lose a lot in that situation.
Yeah, you could leave your house and go to the grocery store.
Yep. Guy. That's the same ones I was talking about last time. Like, God knows, but some of those people probably didn't leave off with the best experience with someone. You know what I mean? And that's hard to think because people don't come back. Nope. Like, that's not what this world is about. There's no magic here. Like, when people die, they die.
That's it.
So why bother with the negativity? Just fix up.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's honestly stupid, whatever you're probably fighting about. Yeah. And you're probably being strong-headed just off of whatever the situation is. Yeah. And if it's really that serious, why did you even let it get to the point where you got married?
Exactly. Or anything along those lines.
And exactly. You should have taken the time or the due diligence to figure that out before.
Yeah. I can tell you for the females that like I've had in my life that have just been peaceful, like there's so much that I want to do for them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking from just family, friends, relationship. The ones that are like the most peaceful, that like I can't even wrap my head around like, yo, what more can I do for you? Yeah. I think like when someone gives you that, like they make you feel calm, you just want to be that for them. And I don't think females get to see that side of guys because some of them, they really do irritate you. And it's like once you get a male to that level, there's so much he's just thinking about doing, and it takes a lot for him to calm himself down. Like, yo, I'm going to leave this girl. I can't wait to get out of this relationship, or I don't need to be friends with this person anymore. Or if it's a parent, like I can't wait to get out of this house and do my own thing. Like frustration brings about negative thoughts. You know what I mean? Peace brings about positivity, and then it's like you want to do so much more.
So when we say the word peace, what comes to your mind? Like what creates peace within that kind of relationship?
Happy people, man. Like people that like, because one of the things that I've seen is like some of the people that I can personally say have gone through some of the hardest things in life are some of the happiest people. Like I think that is the craziest thing to me, to see someone that's been at a level where they've experienced trauma that would have just made someone else leave this earth, sit there and retract and say, look, I still got life. I still got good things going on for me. Let me be a happy person because I want other people to be just as happy. And when you come across someone like that, it's an infectious type of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, you're happy. this is what your life has been like, and then you see someone else that's had possibly less than that happen, just completely losing. That's experience, right?
Yeah.
Like your story is not necessarily the same as someone else's. Your trauma what can kill you can make someone else stronger. You know what I mean? And
good perspective.
so when I see people that are happy and they're just naturally that way and they can't even help it, I love that.
Wicked. Yeah. To me, it falls back on just how that person is able to handle you at your worst.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying? There's so many different triggers, but if you're with somebody that knows how to handle you at those bad times, instead of purposely doing things spitefully to get under your skin, and you guys come to a consensus where it's like, okay, I understand your position, you understand mine. Maybe there's not one or the other. It's not yes or no, but there's an in between, and we can move forward peacefully. To me, that's peace.
I think
because the rest of the relationship is the honeymoon phase. That's the easy part that nobody ever really like conceptualizes or thinks about.
Yeah.
The honeymoon phase, the beginning is the peaches and the flowers. That's the easy part.
How long will it last?
How long will that last? Yeah. And then when it gets to the rocky stages, can you guys handle it together? Yeah. Because like you said, it bothers me so much when like an argument escalates to the point where you can't even talk to me, where you can't even call me, or like you've detached yourself now completely to the point where I'm wondering where you are. If like a smaller argument caused that, and we haven't even reached a big argument yet in the relationship, then what does that look like?
What are we headed for? Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those are big things, and I don't think if you don't have those things together, you're set up for turmoil.
Yeah. I think one of the things I noticed too is like some of those females that are really peaceful are fighting the same fight that males are fighting with females, in a sense where, I mean, they're not getting to hold on to those guys that are like really meant for them, because those guys are chasing that fire from some other girl. Just like some guys are just like, yo, I'm really here for this girl. Why doesn't she see me? And she's there chasing those waste guys, the ones that are too much nonsense or too much drama, because I think people have this, like, I want to fix that. I want to be the one person that is great. So it's like that type of drama and structure works for so much people, because they're just like, I'm gonna chase that. The excitement, I think, for some people is what draws out that, like, I guess, drive for them in life. Because it's almost like when something comes to you too easy, it's like, okay, am I really working for it? You know what I mean? And there's a lot of really peaceful females out there that are getting the short end of the stick, because there's these guys out there that are going after these hothead girls that are causing them drama. So there's like I don't know, it's an imbalance there. I can't figure out what it is at the end of the day. That's just my opinion on what I feel.
Yeah. But no, the peace is priceless. And, you know, Steve Harvey said it best. To me, when I heard that, I was just like, it was a reinforcing moment.
Yeah.
Because, again, to me, like, the looks aren't everything. No. It's a big part. Like I shouldn't even say big part, but it is a part.
You can't miss stuff like that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And especially in my line of work, like, Gal everywhere. The last thing I want to be doing is going to some island, getting this island shorty coming and chatting me up, and I'm thinking to myself, well, you're way better. So let me just see if I could do a little thing here. And go back. No. Yeah. I want my wifey at home to be like, nah, I'm going home to this. I'm good. Like,
that's why I have conversations with girls. Yo. I need to know where your head's at all the time. Like, pause. I'm gonna be JKD for a bit. I'm gonna be JKD for where her head is at. But press play. But as for JKD, you owe me one, bro. But I like having conversations because you get to see like what females are really thinking about. Because you can almost kind of distinguish the wifey kind of vibe from the girls that are on nonsense. And by like the first minute of what they're talking to you about, like, oh, you're so DJ Busby, like, oh my God, like how much parties are you going to? Like, so when can I come chill with you? Like, all right.
You wouldn't believe how much of that there is. Right. And another reason why I'm not even with anybody right now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous in the party scene.
And for you, like I'm not even gonna lie, like I pay attention to a lot of what goes on around you. And I see the girls and then you got like this guy's stories on beer, yo. He's like, yo, that girl's watching you. Like, nah, yo, I know. I'm like, that's crazy too. Obviously, that's our scene. But for me, one of the things that I'm focused on right now is like, I look at the females that are around you and I'm just like, you got to be real cautious because it's like, are they coming at you for your status or where you are right now or really you? And I think that's a big thing to pay attention to. All you DJs and anyone that's in the entertainment field, it's like, you kind of have to watch yourself extra because you can't just take on anybody. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah. And typically you guys, but like my close people, you guys have definitely been like, I wouldn't even say deterrence per se, but you have always seen like, yeah, Buzz, not that one.
Not that one.
Buzz, please, not that one. You don't go touch her. And you've always had my back in that regard. All of y'all.
Yeah. We're observant people, bro. As much as we be joking around and party, we catch a lot of stuff.
Exactly. And as much as people think we don't hear certain things, like, hearing stuff through the grapevine or whatever the case is, we hear it.
Yeah.
So a lot of that goes into my decisions as well. And, you don't just go and pick and choose anybody. Especially, as I said, there's so much more to consider with me in general. So it's one of those where it's like, I only go to Fets.
Yeah.
So it sucks for me because it's like, this is all I'm going. If I'm not at Fets, I am at home working or working on my DJ stuff for Fets. Yeah.
One of the biggest things that I figured out, and I'm going to hold this because I think this is just big. One of the trades, I can say you have it too, and I think all of us really do have it, that like surround ourselves as a group. We're not impulsive males. Yeah. And I think impulse control is a big issue when it comes to like the type of people you chase, the type of situations you get into, and the type of people you let come your way. You know what I mean? And to get into certain situations with females is just like, when you look at like cheating or just any situations alone, bad choices, impulse had a lot to do with that. And it takes a lot to look at a person that could potentially be a future person with you and say, you know what, I'm going to take my time with this person. Because a lot of people jump into relationships are easy to get into. They're way harder to get out of.
That's a fact.
They're way harder to get out of.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Like so much can happen that can draw you closer to someone that you didn't intend on starting on that way. And feelings get involved. And if you're not careful and you're impulsive, you'll make just bad decisions in relationships alone.
That's a fact.
And so,
yeah. So that's big. Today's conversation about relationship was peace. Yeah. And it's something to think about, especially moving forward if you are single. But if you are in a toxic situation or an argumentative situation, there are also ways of finding peace. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that'll be for you to research, but just shedding light on the fact that peace is important in a relationship. Moving on to wealth. This one I found so interesting, because it sheds such a new perspective on today's day and age of how to attain wealth. Yeah. So we're going to play this quick clip, and then we're going to talk about it.
I'm making more money off of video games than I've made in the last 4 years. No, just playing them.
Wait, you're making money playing video games? So that's like playing them on Twitch?
Yeah.
So from your Twitch stream, you're getting more revenue than from music?
Yeah.
Crazy.
T-Pain.
T-Pain, boy. So what do you think about what you just heard?
It's crazy because I feel like that's the era that we live in. Like, money is attainable more to me than in any aspect that's ever been before. And you can make money doing stupidness, or you can make money doing structured things. It's just there to make. He already has a platform already from being music, but to say that he's making more from playing video games, something that he probably never thought he could do, and he's making more doing that than he was making on music, that's disgusting to hear.
And we talking all the royalties from his timeless classic hits.
Everything, all his hooks that he was on, everything. Yeah.
It's crazy to me to hear that from the perspective of somebody literally whose parents told them, stop playing these video games. These video games will never take you anywhere.
Yeah.
Put down the games, go and do your schoolwork. It's crazy to me to see that in today's day and age, people simply playing video games can make millions.
Yeah, people log on to watch them do it.
Like even my niece watching these kids on YouTube, kids playing Roblox all day, every day.
Yeah.
Her mom had to put a stop to that. But the fact is, her mom's responsible.
Yeah.
A lot of parents out there are not. And their getaway is probably giving the kid the iPad so they could shut up, quote unquote, and just get away from me and go do your thing. But can you imagine how many kids in this world are doing that? Yeah. And what I want to shed light on with bringing this up is for everybody to take a step back when it comes to your kids or anybody around you. Like we were talking to Nicole last week. Big up Nicole. I didn't even say that. That was a wicked episode.
Watch that proper.
Big up Nicole. But last week, she mentioned the fact that, she wanted to do something. Her head was wrapped around this dream or whatever that she had. Yeah. but people around her kept putting that down and saying that's not really realistic, which at the point in time may not have been.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's your dream.
Yeah.
It's what you want to do, and you could dictate what's realistic, what's too much, what's not enough, you know? And why I bring this up is for parents or people like that want to be there for your friends that have ideas. Don't necessarily shut them down right away, right? And especially from a parent to a child perspective, my parents always told me put down the video games.
Yeah.
But instead of doing that, why don't we transition our thinking and challenge those ideas of, well, this doesn't really make money, to how can I be supportive and help you to figure out how you can make money with this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, today's day and age is completely different. So instead of saying, well, he's playing this game too much and it's not doing anything for him, no. Sit down and study what other people playing games do. You know what I'm saying? And then say, okay, this kid over here is my son's age.
Yeah.
He's playing games all day, but he's on Twitch and he has a huge following playing games and he's actually making serious money.
Yeah.
Now that I'm looking at the statistics and whatnot. So instead of telling my kids stop playing games, well, Johnny, why don't you create a Twitch page and, you know, we could try and do something. Foster it. Own it. You know, try and navigate with them, with your kids. Your kid loves whatever as long as it's not something stupid or crazy like smoking or killing somebody, you know what I mean? But if it's something where like there's many more proven cases where these things can make you money, own it. Teach your kid how to do it and do it with tact, do it with respect.
I think what's hard about that is you don't get to control where it goes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, obviously, we're in a generation right now where there's so much more options for people, and those same gamers right now, their parents probably told them like, "Yo, just go play your video game, like just to do something else to keep them busy because that's what they needed to do." Mm. Never thinking that they'd get to a point where like millions and billions probably of people are watching them sit down for hours at a time just to play. Yeah. And now you look at that and it's like everyone's caught on to that, but it's like because of that, it's also become more saturated. So you have to look at it, it's like, okay, is video game going to be my kid's thing when there's so much people doing that now? Or is it going to be something where it's like, okay, maybe my kid is going to be the next music star, but music is already an avenue that's been there. So it's always that what will make my kid different or what will make me different? Because it's not just kids that's doing it, it's everyone that's doing it. Yeah. And it's a time where you can make money being an idiot. Like that whole Catch Me Outside girl. A girl's grossing millions, bro.
Not to girl, yeah.
Like she is, but she offers something really simple and stupid. She's been able to have revenue where she probably not have to worry about money for the rest of her life. Yeah. Doing OnlyFans and stuff. Probably have the old dirty man them watching her and all that stuff, but she's making money. Mm-hmm. But when you see that, everybody's like, okay, well, I can do that too. Like, everyone does like some aspect of making money, but they're not looking at like the odd way to make it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
To me, that shouldn't be a deterrent in this day and age.
Fair.
Because imagine if I said there's too many DJs.
Yeah.
And I just gave up.
Yeah.
Or tried something else, but I wouldn't be where I am and go where I'm going.
Yeah.
And personally, I feel like if you put your head onto something, like if you pause.
Too easy.
If you put your head towards something.
Yeah.
Then, you know, universe has its way of helping you elevate to get to where you want to go.
Very true. Like I believe in that, big. You got to know you're special.
Special.
Don't need anyone else to tell you.
And that's another thing. Promote that to your kids. Show your kids that they are. And you know your kid is special. Yeah. They came from you, and you're not going to sit there and say your kid's a deadbeat. Yeah. Or if you're doing that, you're probably a bad parent or not a great enough parent. Yeah.
And we're not talking about don't eat the toothpaste special. Like we're talking like special.
Yeah, exactly. Like your kid is
you're
special.
You're going somewhere in life special.
Own these things and manifest it. Help your child get to a certain place. You never know. Test the different waters. Kids are supposed to do that. Yeah. I feel like from 35, maybe even 40 and back is your time to play around. Try different things. Yeah. Unless and then certain things get pulled back a little bit if you have more responsibilities. Yeah. So you have a child, let's say you have a lot of home responsibilities that, you know, you can't necessarily go out there and take every chance or every risk. Yeah. But still, you should play around with everything, see what you're good at, and then just keep aiming towards that goal. You know, and I just bring this up to say, you know, My parents at a point in time, many parents at the time where like Super Nintendo was on the rise, PlayStation, etc. Parents were like, "Yo, get off of this thing. Do your schoolwork."
Yeah.
When you really think about like, and you're in the education system,
Yeah.
school is predicated off of memorization. I could easily say, if my teacher gave me a test, right?
Yeah.
And the test was 1,267 times 210. Don't do it with a calculator, though.
Yeah.
It's better. You gotta learn how to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Hey, Siri, what's 1,267 times 210?
She listening.
So I don't freaking need to know math anymore.
Yeah. That's the scary part of the age we live in.
I don't need to know much of anything anymore. I could ask Siri a piece of history. Siri will tell me. So instead of teaching a child in this day and age how to memorize, some of those skills are useful. Maybe up until a certain grade, teach them the memorization and the certain skills of like basic multiplication, adding, subtracting, etc. Yeah, learn that up to a degree. But I would say from high school forward, it should strictly be critical thinking. How to think properly. How to think, I have this craft. How can I make it a beast? How do I do my taxes? How do I, etc.? How do I become a business?
Yeah.
But no, we're taught to conform.
I have to challenge that a little bit because, like I said, everything is at like your hand. Like you can reach. You just picked up your phone in 2 seconds. Like people would have had to research that to go and get it, or work through a calculator to go and get it. But everything is at your fingertips in this day and age. So one of the aspects of like when you don't use something, you tend to lose it because it became so much easy.
Yeah.
There's this movie it's an old movie, but it's called WALL-E, and it was about like the last robot or whatever that was in the earth after it's been like trashed by humans because everything became so easy, so we didn't try as hard, so much that we trashed the earth and had to like live in space. And he like found one plant that was supposed to be there to like help us back. So it's like when things become too easy, you stop trying as hard, right? So there has to be some sort of medium, and it's like, okay, don't use your calculator, but try to work that out yourself before having to reach for your phone. And giving kids the opportunity, or just people the opportunity to say, hey, before you choose the easy route, like, can you figure that out by yourself? Like, you may actually be able to, but it would just be easier to do it. And people are going to choose what's easy.
Yeah.
That's why microwaves became such a big thing over cooking, because you got it faster. Speed is one of the biggest things that you will ever pay attention to in life. Speed is what we're focused on. How fast can something be done? How fast can you get it done?
Yeah.
And that's how efficiency is measured. But just because you can get something done fast doesn't mean you did it like the right way. Or you went through the proper channels or the proper steps to get it. Like, look how many people are DJing right now, and they learn how to do it quick.
Yeah.
But they don't know how, like, the intricate pieces of, like, you see them DJing, like, yo, I heard that mistake that you made, and you keep making it. Like, I don't DJ, and I can tell when people are making mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a fast way to do things, the easy way to do things, and then there's a right way to do things.
And that's where I was kind of going with, like, the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Teach that. And, like, the memorization needs to be there. But you yourself, how often have you used calculus this past week at your job?
None.
That's the point I was trying to get to. Like, there's certain things that you just could eliminate from curriculum and adjust.
Yeah, school doesn't need to be taught the same way anymore. I will agree with that, bro. I'm in the system, and there's a lot of kids that are just losing.
Yeah, but to a certain point, you are right. Like, there are certain fundamentals that you do need to learn.
Yeah.
You know, like, I said what I had to say to Siri, but at the end of the day, doing what I'm doing business-wise, it is a very huge additive to be able to calculate numbers in my head without needing or relying on Siri or a calculator. But, I say all of that to say just there's different ways than the conventional go to school, get a 9 to 5.
Yeah, very true.
And pay your way till you die.
It's not that anymore.
It can't be that anymore. Like, I work from home now, so I don't have to fill up my car as often.
Yeah.
I am so sorry for those of you that have to drive far to work or like are using a whole heap of gas.
Yeah.
Bro, I couldn't believe when I saw over $100 to fill my tank. I haven't filled up my car like that in a while.
That's what's going on right now, for real.
And it's like, that's going up. Grocery prices are going up. Everything's going, tsunami.
Tsunami.
Everything is going up. But your pay at work.
Yeah.
How's that going?
That's life. There's always an imbalance in the catch up. Like the standard of living always goes up before the rate of pay. It literally should be the opposite, so you can always afford to be where you are. But people are always in a catch up kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's sad. But, it's just to reinforce the fact that there's different ways of making money, and don't necessarily shun something just because you may think it's stupid.
Yeah.
T-Pain just said, not your kid is not T-Pain,
Yeah.
but understand that somebody is now, especially a black male, is making bare money off of playing a video game and live streaming it.
Yeah.
Just think about those different type of things and encourage your child. If the child loves video games, like that's the only thing they ever want to do, own it a little bit. Yeah, go and put them in a swimming class or karate class, but add to their schedule and make them feel happy. Don't create it as like something you take away when they've done something wrong.
Yeah.
And just an idea to put into the well segment in the podcast, just to change the conventional way of thinking about things. About halfway through the show, guys. So once again, we just want to remind you, hit the like button. If you haven't followed us yet, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, whatever the platform allows you to do. Comment. Let us know in the comments below, what your thoughts are on certain subjects. If you like a certain topic that comes up, just hit up the comments. Say what you want to say. And I'm going to do a call out to the comments in the next section, so be prepared. Other than that, everything's going in an amazing direction when it comes to these Caravana events I got coming up. I can't even say Scotia Carnival or whatever.
Whatever they've decided to call it.
Caravana or Toronto Carnival, if I have to be any sort of politically correct. Also, if you guys would like to sponsor the People's Podcast, we're open to any sort of sponsorship. If you guys have any businesses yourself, have access to businesses, know somebody that's willing to sponsor a platform like this that's targeting the West Indian, especially the second generation Caribbean community in a place like Toronto, we're doing the right thing by our people with this podcast, and any sort of sponsorship helps fund the project and helps us to do more things faster, reach more people, etc. So that would be amazing. And once again, if anybody has any links on hotels, anything regarding airlines, airfare, and would be able to get us discounts. Nicole laughed at us last week.
Yeah.
But it's not for us. I was listening back, like, that
it sounded like it was for you.
Yeah, it's not for, like, if Jake and E or Busby is bringing an artist, it would be nice to have, because we have to pay for their hotel and flight anyway.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have a little discount on that. You know what I'm saying? So anything that you guys could do to assist would be amazing. At this point in the podcast, I mentioned it last week, somebody wanted to pay for a gift card to give away. So I want to big him up. He said he didn't want his name bigged up. But anyway, he's going to be giving me the gift card. The first person to record a clip, you could either screen record a clip, record your TV of a clip of this podcast, post that to social media, and tag the People's Podcast on IG.
Nice.
Post it to your stories, tag the People's Podcast on IG. One of the people that do that will be randomly selected to win this gift card. All right? Now, back to the show. Thank you for tuning in. This one I want y'all commentary, please, and thank you. I have always had a tough time with my morning routine. I don't have a routine.
Yeah.
I literally just get up, roll over, clean myself, go shower, brush my teeth, and then go about my day. Figure it out from there. A lot of the people that are like the greats, quote unquote, or like the top line entertainers or millionaires, billionaires that usually post motivational stuff or whatever the case is, or even hearing them in interviews, a lot of times you hear them that they have a morning routine.
Yeah.
So first thing I want to say is, what is your morning routine out there? So type it in the comments below, and it could even be one that's not a good, positive morning routine. Just I want to know, what is your routine out there? Type it in the comments. But you, Willard, what's your morning routine?
I have two structures of it. So on the weeks that I have my kids with me, my routine's totally different because I got to wake up and then get kids ready, prep lunch and all that. So I do it in the night. So if I have my kids with me for that week, Waking up at around like 6:37.
Mm.
To try and get them ready, wake them up. My daughter, she even sets her own alarm, so she gets up sometimes before me, and then they get started. Prepping lunch in the morning works for me because I just feel like it's easier to do.
Yeah.
Set that up. They get themselves ready. I go shower. We get ready. We head out of there. Drop them to school, and then I head to work.
Okay.
Right. Weeks I'm by myself. It's just me. So I'll wake up later because I can. Shower, eat. If I need to, sometimes I don't even eat breakfast because it's just my vibe.
Yeah.
And then get up and I'm going to work.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? So it varies based on when I have them with me or not.
Yeah. That's interesting. As I said, I don't really have a morning routine. And it's crazy because I'm not a morning person, period.
Yeah.
But to add to that, I'm also a night guy because of my weekends DJing.
Yeah.
So like every morning, Monday to Friday, I'm waking up at 8:30 for work. But Friday nights and Saturday nights, I'm up until 4 or 5 o'clock.
Jeez.
So that completely throws off a routine schedule that most people have.
Yeah.
Like my dad's literally gotten to the point where like he naturally drifts off and goes to bed like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And wakes up 6 a.m. Like that's just his natural routine now because of how work did him or like did that to him. For me, I can't get that because as much as I may want to build that schedule, my Friday night and Saturday night DJing throws me completely off.
Yeah.
So that now leads me to being more a night person. And even in the weeks when I have to wake up at 8:30, I don't go to bed until like 2:30 in the morning, naturally, because my body's not ready to sleep.
Yeah.
And then it throws off that pattern because in the middle of the day now, I kind of need a rest. And it's rough when it comes to just my personal well-being because I don't feel like I have enough energy to get through the day anyway. But I'm drained at work 9 to 5. And then after work, I'm pushing myself to do all these projects I've taken on with all this stuff. So it sucks. So my morning routine is I don't even think there is one, to be honest.
What's crazy about that is like you asked me what my morning routine is, but the reality of it is like I go to bed really late.
Yeah?
And that's my worst habit, but it's also something I'm just so used to. I don't know what it is, but I have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So I don't even need as much sleep as I feel most people do. Like I will literally function crazy off of like 3 hours of sleep and be completely active. Sometimes it hits me and I'm like, oh, I'm tired at work. But sometimes I'm just like all today, I went to bed, like 3 last night or in between. And sometimes I do worse. Like I'll wake back up and I'll be up for no reason. I just like to be up. I feel calmer when everyone else is kind of like just chilling, sleeping. So I listen to music or I watch videos and stuff like that. I don't really do TV too much. But I go to bed late and then I'll wake up and then be ready for the day. I don't drink coffee or none of that stuff.
Yeah, me too.
So it's just off of energy.
Yeah.
And that I'm trying to actually change a bit because I'd like to see what it'd be like if I got more sleep.
Yeah.
Because of the way I function with less.
Yeah.
So.
And that's an interesting perspective as well. To each person has their own different way of handling those things. I can't I've definitely done that many a times, especially in my like 19, 20-year-old days.
Yeah.
Bro, I was going to these fetes, getting home all kind of hungover at 4 a.m,
sun's shining,
waking up for 6:30 to go to work, like and doing it not with a smile on my face, but I could do it.
Yeah.
These days I can't do that, and I think it's just in part too to the fact that I just don't have enough energy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something I need to change for myself. But I found a morning routine that somebody put on social media, or not even a morning routine. This was saying the things to avoid doing in the morning. So it kind of adds to your morning routine, but these are the things they're saying don't do. So they're saying stop doing this in the morning. Stop drinking coffee on an empty stomach. Stop checking your phone first thing in the morning. Stop not making your bed. Stop leaving the curtains closed. Stop not taking cold showers. Stop eating carbs and sugar for breakfast. And stop hitting the snooze button. So I think out of all of those, the coffee doesn't apply to me. Checking my phone, that's literally the first thing I do, which is sad, but people say don't do that. I think that plays on your mental as well.
Yeah.
Especially if the first thing you do is go to swipe for Instagram.
I don't even have my phone near me. It's like outside. I don't sleep with it.
Nah?
No.
So even to take it back from the drinking coffee, so I'll go through these ones individually. Coffee, I don't do. I can't do coffee. I tried one time when I was in university for an exam, bruh. I was up all night studying for this exam to the point where like I didn't have time for sleep. It was just to get ready and go to the exam. So I'm on my way to the exam, and I'm like, I never tried this coffee thing before, but people say it gives you that little extra boost. Yeah. It keeps you awake. I go to McDonald's. I don't know what I'm ordering. I just hear people say double. Say, hi, can I get a large double, please? So empty stomach, like this says. I drink the double, half of it, and then I go to sit down through my exam. Starting to write it, and then I'm drinking this coffee. Out of nowhere, I just hear, that big bubbling noise you hear in your stomach sometimes? It just held me. Dead. I had to go to the washroom and throw up for like 15 minutes. I'm like, yo, me and this coffee thing, never again. So I've just never been a caffeine drinker or coffee drinker. Checking my phone, I do that first thing. It sucks. But it's not just Instagram. Like I'll check my texts, my emails, see who's messaging, whatever the case is. But the crazy part about that too is like they say Instagram is like, slot machines at the lottery. Yeah. Instagram, if you really think about the dynamics of it, it's scary, but it's like a slot machine.
Yeah, you're waiting for that one.
Exactly. And sometimes it's not like just the it's sexy gal in the, Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, this is a good, no, it's,
Send that to
the, and that, there's endorphins in that. Like, this is like gambling. There's a reason that you see those old grannies in the movies.
It's like a reward system.
Exactly.
You're right, though.
For you to be waking up to that, besides the reward system and maybe scrolling a thing, you're consuming a bunch of stuff that shouldn't be in your head first thing in the morning. You know what I mean? So there's that. Not making the bed. I'm horrible.
I do that every day.
You're good. You're good. And my parents have tried their entire lives. And it's not to say I never make up my bed. I do sometimes, but like getting up first thing in the morning, I'm stuck on the like, yo, I'm making this up to rumple it up again tonight. Yo. Nah, man, just leave it how it is. I'll close my door. I'm good. Yeah. But I gotta get into that. But there are at times, especially in the day, I'll make up my bed, or like if I'm going away and my room's gonna be like that for a while, I make up my bed. Yeah. But my bed ain't even all that anyway. It's 3 pillows and a goddamn blanket. What am I?
It's something.
I should try and subscribe to that. Leaving the curtains closed. Yeah, that's permanently closed in my room.
I open them.
You don't open
light. I open them.
You do?
Yeah, in the morning.
Nice. Yeah, that's permanently closed in my room, more or less. Yeah. But it's like, it's not curtains that will like completely shut out the light. Yeah. So light's still coming in, but
I learned from that because it's one of those things that like it brings a depressive mood to you, like darkness, and then like a lot of people keep it because it's easier to sleep. But when you're like, sunlight really does something for you to wake you up. Yeah, like it's even a piece of it peeking through your curtain is good enough, right? Like those dark curtains or those dark shades or whatever put you in a dull kind of vibe. Facts. So when you step out into the real world, when you think about a lot of people, if they drive, they go from their home to their car to their place, so they're not even touching sunlight, and that becomes a big issue sometimes.
Yeah. And for me, it was way worse because I'm dealing with that in my room. Yeah. And then when I used to go into the office, I would leave, and same thing, get in my car in the garage, back out, drive to work, into a garage, park my car, walk into work. But I was in work in a basement office.
You're seeing sun.
So there was literally no outside windows, period. Yeah. It was strictly a basement in a big building. So I had zero sunlight. Yeah. And it was to the point where like one of my friends had asked me if I wanted this mood light. Like this they saw it at Costco or something.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Some mood light or something like that to help with the office. Yeah. I'm like, honestly, you give me that mood light, it's not going to change the people I have to work with. So
Fair enough.
I could have whatever light you want to give me, but it's not going to help. Yeah. But I do think, sunlight is a big thing. And even with me, I don't even think I should say pause for this, but I'm vitamin D deficient. So that's not a pause. That's not, See it? But I'm vitamin D deficient. Yeah. So in order to get vitamin D, I think the 2 biggest things is sun. and seafood. Yeah. And I'm allergic to seafood. Yeah. So if I'm not getting sun.
Do you take like the
The
pills?
supplement?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was taking it for a while, but for a period of time, I was taking the all-in-ones.
Yeah.
And for
Okay.
some reason, those would leave like I would break out.
Yeah.
Like on my face, like really big warts and stuff or bumps, and like I had to stop. And I never got tested as to why, but I just stopped taking them, and then my face would clear up.
Yeah.
Then I started taking the vitamin D tablets individually, and yeah, it was helping in terms of adding to that in my system, but I didn't really feel much of a difference. But I guess your whole overall has to change in order to feel something.
Yeah.
But yeah, just reinforcing sunlight's the importance of sunlight. Not taking cold showers. Who takes cold showers at all?
I don't know, but I heard it does like it alerts you. I love hot water, bro. So I don't
exactly
know about that. But
am I a caveman? I'm taking my.
But the cold shower, like it your sense.
Yeah. It heightens your senses.
Yeah, that's right.
One thing I heard recently was one of Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk was asked, "What do you think was your key to being as successful as you are?"
Yeah.
And I think he said something along the lines of taking showers.
Yeah.
This millionaire, jillionaire, zillionaire just said taking showers was his key to success.
Beard your skin, people.
But it literally does add a sort of refreshing
mood
to you. Like when you go in the shower and come out, you feel completely different.
I love water.
Me too.
Long ass showers.
Tsunami, Carnival Sunday.
Boy,
Toronto Carnival Sunday. I love water.
For those of you who don't bathe, that's the spot.
No, that's not the spot to take your people. Tsunami is not your shower of the day. All right, please go and shower your skin before you come to Tsunami. Thank you.
Please.
Eating carbs and sugars for breakfast. I'm like you. I don't even really. Breakfast is not my thing.
Yeah.
And if I do eat breakfast, ain't no sugars or carbs really.
Yeah.
It's literally like bacon or sausage and eggs or bread or something. Yeah, so the bread carbs. But
it's croissants from Tim Hortons. That cheese croissant. I don't know what that is, but that's so proper.
Yeah. And then I'll have like fruits like orange, grapes, apples, or them kind of things.
That's a good breakfast.
Yeah. But people who like love breakfast foods, I just don't get it. I don't like breakfast foods.
Yeah.
Like I'll eat it if I have to eat it, but I'm not a breakfast fan. I'd normally like wait till lunch if I want to eat, even if I wake up mad early. Yeah. I'm like, nah, I'll just wait till lunch and do my thing. And last but not least, hitting the snooze button.
I've done that too much times.
I had a brethren one time show me his phone. And if you have to wake up at 6 o'clock, the thing say, 5:54, 5:55, 5:56.
5 minutes of sleep, bro. 5 minutes snooze. That's wild to me.
But I understand that too. Like if I hit snooze once, it might have been a handful of times this happened to me. But I've hit the snooze button, rolled over, and said, nah, I got like 5-10 minutes. Yeah. This is at like 8 o'clock when I'm supposed to be leaving my house to get to work for 8:30. So I have about 9-10 minutes. Next thing I know, I turn around, it's 10:45.
Yo, like, the devil made that button, bro. Remember I said I don't see my phone next to me, but I'm alert enough to hear it when it goes off. Yeah? Okay. I will go outside, walk. Yeah. Turn that off and go back to bed. And I'm like, that's stupid. I don't even know why I do that. Yeah. But it's just that serious that it's like, okay, 15 more minutes, 10 more minutes or whatever. And then you're just like, oh, shoot, I'm late. And then you're rushing. Yeah. Right? But man, that button, like, I don't know why they made that button.
Yeah. I get it. It makes sense. Cause I definitely abuse that snooze button, but it's one to be careful for. So just the morning routine is what I wanted to highlight. I don't know. I want to hear y'all morning routines out there. But what do you think is so do you think what you're doing is good, or like is there anything you would improve?
I definitely could do better. To me, it's just if I actually set a time and waking up for real for that time, not hitting a snooze button. Yeah. Getting up earlier, that I do, because it's weird. Like sometimes I'll see us like we'll leave later and get places earlier, and then you just realize like it's not just you, it's traffic sometimes. Yeah. We have like a specific route that we take that cuts out a lot of traffic, but sometimes it's just like the day. On Fridays, there's less traffic, so you fly there early. But I don't like having a rush. So getting up earlier to me would be a lot better. There's days where I like prep like the lunch and stuff for my kids earlier. For me, I only prep lunch. So when it's me, I just get up and shower and stuff, and I'm out, right? But one of the things I told my kids is like I want them to be able to just get into the habit of like, because summer's here, being able to play before school starts, right? One of the things is I find like I get them there to school and they go in. But now that the weather is changing, I want them to be able to have that like play before school and then go and start their day. 'Cause I think play in the morning is huge for kids.
Yeah, facts.
And honestly, a lot of kids, because of COVID, they did not have that. They're at home. They lost their minds, and you didn't even know they're losing their minds. But to be able to be back and active like this, I want them to be able to enjoy that aspect. So
For sure. And especially as a child, that's when you get it out and be able to have those memories with that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the health segment, just having a morning routine and shining light on that aspect. So once again, in the comments section, just let us know your morning routine and maybe what you'd like to change about it, what you'd like to fix. Last but not least, this one's a different one to what we would normally talk about. Now, I was talking about entertainment.
Yeah.
Normally, we would bring up a piece of entertainment that maybe we've watched, maybe we have heard or read within the past little while. This one takes a little bit of a different angle, and it shines light on something I want to shine light on as well. This past week, Netflix lays off an estimated 150 employees due to slow revenue growth and business needs. That's wild to me. A company like Netflix, and I feel like everybody has Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's sad because a lot of people, including me, are leeching the Netflix off of somebody. So I know they're trying to crack down on that because it's adding to their margins and reducing their margins. But it's crazy to me that a big company like that has to make such a huge employee cut
That quickly.
And to what seems like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like these things obviously took them months to figure out, but that quickly. What do you think about that situation?
I think that was interesting because if I'm right, it was when they made the announcement too that they're going to be charging people for sharing their passwords and stuff, and people just looked at that and was like, look, I'm already paying for this or whatever. Like, who are you? I was like, who are you to tell me who I can share that with?
Yeah.
And when that came out, it was shortly after, and then that announcement came where they dropped people, and I'm just like, they've been making money. So to me, it's like, what have they been doing with the money and generating? Like, if you're making that money and we're all sending it to you, like, what did you do with it? How did you recycle it back into that company? And if you didn't, like, why are you letting go of all these people?
So I think a big part of what you said, now I don't know their full statistics, I just know what I've heard.
Yeah.
A big part of what you said is like automatically assuming they're making money.
Yeah, fair.
But
don't know.
The reason I say that is because I've heard that no, they're actually operating at a loss. And the amount of money it takes to legally own or legally stream on their service, like as a only Netflix.
Yeah.
Like the Titanic can only be watched on Netflix.
Okay.
In order to fund that is a lot.
Yeah, it's copyright and all stuff. Right.
So to me, like this shines a big light on the entertainment industry, but also shines a light on if you are in entertainment, understand what that business model is doing to Netflix. You know what I'm saying? And Netflix outsourcing content, thinking that's what the people want.
Yeah.
Now, I say all of that to say let's transition to the idea of comparing it to a different platform where there's similar traits in terms of having a player to watch content. But let's compare Netflix and YouTube.
Yeah.
To me, YouTube did the genius route. YouTube doesn't have to pay their creatives for content. They do based off of ad revenue, but theoretically, think about it.
It's free content. Anything you want to watch.
Huh?
Anything you want to watch.
Anything you want to watch is on YouTube.
Yeah.
They've left it for the general public with the restriction of obvious things like, pornography or killing or anything like that. But they've restricted it to content creators being able to upload their content at free will.
Yeah.
Without those restrictions are like copyright and stuff like that.
And based on how many subscribers you have is when they decide to pay you.
Subscribers, views, all of that you get paid based off of that. So theoretically, your drive, your network is paid in terms of ad revenue, and that's how your worth is determined.
True.
Whereas Netflix is now drawing for these blockbuster movies, assuming that that's what people want to watch.
Yeah.
But like I said, kids, like if you really focus on kids, they will often teach you where the direction of the world is going. And as I said earlier, my niece on YouTube Kids all day, every day if she wanted to be.
Yeah.
We are consumers of YouTube ourselves. If you want to find out anything, like I was just talking to Skippy in the studio earlier today, and he was like saying something about his computer. Yo, how do you do this? And I was telling him, normally what I would do is anything going wrong or anything that I want to find out, you just youtube.com.
Yeah.
How do I fix this? Somebody out there has made a video.
Yeah.
So that's just a testament to like business models. And even though both are providing the same quote unquote feature of providing visual entertainment, one of them has a business model where it's like, I'm not paying for my content, but I'm making way more.
True.
Versus I have to now outsource, have Amazon as a competitor, have what other services are there?
Prime.
The Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Hulu,
Disney
like
Plus.
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So now you're in a huge playground with all these different people. And now how do you battle with that? Netflix can't even draw for Disney stuff now.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing. So when you really boil that down, like think about those things when you're getting yourself into the entertainment field. You know, take notes from these big situations in the world. Like these large scale corporations, and them taking L's could teach you a lot about your business. Yeah. You know, and I wanted to shine light on that when it comes to the business of entertainment. Sometimes letting creatives just do what they do and paying them a certain type of way is the key, as opposed to, let me try and get somebody else's work and you know, copyright that or post or own that.
Yeah, because everyone watches YouTube.
Yeah.
Like everyone does. And that's how what's called Justin Bieber was discovered.
Yeah.
By just assuring them watching it.
There you go.
So even the people that are up there are watching to see like what's going on in the world, what's next. And I think YouTube is that avenue. It's just how's it gonna change and what's gonna be new about it.
Right. So I say that those two business models, one shows a clear winner.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, who's stopping Apple from becoming the next Google and then creating their own YouTube? Yeah. Right. But I think that was something to definitely highlight, because Netflix is now laying off bare people. And when you're doing that as a company, especially of your stature, it's like, well, these 150 people have jobs. Have families to feed. And because your business model is not working as you want it to, and it's going in a decline, you have to now let all of these people go. And you'll seem heartless, but you have to worry about your margins at the end of the day. Yeah. And I get that. But the entertainment business is a crazy one, man.
I guess that's what I was saying, where like you don't get to control where it goes. Yeah. I think anyone that has kids going into that, it's like once you get there, it starts to get big, and it's like now your kids can't have their privacy. Now you can't, even if it's you doing that stuff, you don't get privacy. And once you get to that level, it becomes kind of scary. So that's where you got to really be about your wits and like, okay, what do I really want to do, and how well can you control what's coming your way?
Yeah, because if all Mark Zuckerberg is taking licks right now, who is Busby? Who is Blessed One? Like, I understand that perspective of things, because it's facts, and it's not even just where can it go in that regard. Like, where can it go? Like how you brought up with Bad Bunny. There are a lot of weirdos out there, and all of that plays an aspect into it. So you don't necessarily want your kid on some platform where like creeps could be out there watching.
Obviously, she's choosing that route.
Yeah,
and not everyone has to choose that route, but let's look at YouTube. How kind is it? Look at Google. They look whatever. Yeah. Anyway, that for people to get their weird fix is what they're looking at. So you're not as safe as you think, but how you choose to operate it is what kind of saves you.
Yeah, and I mean normally I would say it's really up to the individual in terms of how they handle those situations. Netflix is handling it by laying off 150 employees, which is unfortunate. But like, business at the end of the day is like a punch in the face, like in some regard. There's so many things that could happen to you, that do happen to you, but it's how you persevere through that. Yep. And I always, I'm a firm believer, if you're good enough, you're gonna win regardless. Yeah. As much licks as you take, as much headaches as you have to deal with, if you're good enough and you know that and own it, you'll be fine.
You also have to be adaptable.
Yeah.
Like just a punch, you got to be able to say, okay, that one didn't work for me. Let me try this.
Yeah.
Like I look at some of my like favorite like artists, just the way that they are like you look at Patrice Roberts. She's been making music forever and it's still relevant till now.
Yeah.
And some of the biggest tracks that she's had that we looked at them like, oh, that's big. Took like Drink Water and Mind My Business to go super viral with celebrities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of these people, they've been making music forever and they've been consistent. Like when you're consistent and you're willing to adapt, you're always gonna do well.
Yeah.
But if you stay still, I'm like, oh, you took that punch and that was it, and I only want to do this type of music, and if I can't do it this way, it's done. You're gonna stay still.
And to be honest, the last couple of years showed me, like, especially within our industry, who's capable of that punch.
Yep.
Because that was the biggest punch in everybody's face.
Yeah.
But who rose to the top?
When IG Live was locking people off, like, what are we gonna do next?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that conversation could go on forever. But the point is that, like, as you said, perseverance and getting through those hard times. It's betting on the horse, or is it? How does that saying go? Bet on the jockey or the horse?
I don't know.
Anyway, but if you can get my point, like betting on the person, the I guess the jockey in that regard,
not the horse. Yeah.
betting on So, just understanding those things, that these things happen, but your business model needs to make sense, and look at these sort of scenarios and apply it to yourself.
Yeah.
What business are you in? How many competitors do you have? What competition is out there that's different to yours that is thriving, where you can maybe tweak your business model a little bit in the entertainment field, right?
Is it a loss or a lesson? Like,
Yeah.
a L is a L sometimes.
To be honest, I think, and that's a good way to end the show today. I think every L is a lesson.
Nice.
Like, instead of just sitting there and thinking about, I just lost, or I just took a huge hit or a huge L. I don't know. To me, every L is a lesson. Yeah. And Marshall said it best in his song. An L is no longer a loss, an L is a lesson. Facts.
Perspective.
Yeah. And whatever you did that didn't work out in your favor is only leading you closer to the right direction.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah. There's been many a times where things have happened to me and I've sat there like, yo, why? Why isn't this working? Why isn't this person booking me? Why? And then it never fails. A few months, a few weeks, whatever the case, a few blank passes.
Yeah.
And then something else happens. And then you sit and have that reflection moment like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Like, if that happened or if that didn't happen, this wouldn't have happened. And this was the way better thing.
Yeah.
And that's happened to me time and time again. So
people aren't patient, though.
Yeah.
They're not willing to wait because everyone wants that thing now.
Yeah.
You got to play the long game. You play the long game, you win.
Yep. There's a clip that Kobe Bryant talked about. I put it up in my stories this past week. He's like, kids always get discouraged when they don't get what they want, like immediate gratification.
Yeah.
And especially kids, because they don't have the patience. So kids always feel like you got to make that quantum leap and get to this place right away.
Quick.
And when they don't get that, they're discouraged and then it deters them. But it's like, that's not how life works. And you have to do things step by step. And then he really shed light on it where he was like, what do you say? You don't just jump and get to the top of Mount Everest. Yeah. You have to take it step by step. But then when you're at the top now, you look back and say, yo, that was a journey, but I did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So those are key valuable lessons to take into consideration when you're moving forward with your day-to-day.
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey. There's pride in the journey. There is joy in everything, man. Yeah. Just keep it up. Y'all are doing amazing, but just keep these things in mind, and that's the point of this podcast. You know what I mean? So thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, make sure to hit that subscribe button, follow button. Make sure to like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Tell a friend about the podcast. These are free things you could do to help us. If you can help us financially, maybe you have a business of sorts. I myself am a corporation. JKD is a corporation. If you want to sponsor us, you're able to do that through your business. And that's money that we could use to help this project thrive and become bigger than what it is and help it reach more people faster. If you know any companies, referencing us would be amazing. We would really appreciate that. And one last time, if anybody has any links or they themselves are links in the hotel and airline business, we could definitely use a helping hand in that regard. With pause the buddy pass. All right, y'all. With that being said, we out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we appreciate you. We'll see you next week on another episode of the People's Podcast.
Peace.